but apparently Derpy's going full swing with it. He did have May the 4th be with you up behind him there, but now I see Steelers. But you know what? He did make a point. I do want to say, May the 4th be with you. This is the day, everybody. May 4th.
A for effort for Derpy. For effort.
Yeah, you
I'll be right back.
Oh my Lord.
A couple things I do want to talk about, Mike. Before we get started, I guess we could do that with Derpy's Derpying. This is episode 301, everybody. Welcome back to the Two Dumb Yinzers. Mike, I do want to share this with you and our listeners and viewers and such. I was just looking over the analytics of our numbers on the podcast. We now cracked into the Honduras market, Mike. You know, we did. We're
nice.
We have listeners in Honduras now. So welcome from Honduras. Also, I did want to mention that Romania is up to 1%. 1% of our listeners, which was down below 1% for quite some time. But Romania is up to 1% of our listeners.
I like it.
Canadians are 8%. They compile for 8% of our listeners. And as I said, we want to welcome Honduras because we did crack into the Honduras market. We do have listeners there now. This is for the podcast. But I did want to share all that because
I like that. It's been my God, it's been like 200 and some odd episodes since we had a breakdown of like where everyone's listening from.
Yeah.
And I forgot about we used to do that all the time.
You got to go through the countries real quick. You think that's worth talking about?
Sure. I find it interesting to see where people come from to listen to like not just our podcast, but like other people's podcasts.
I do want to say that 86% of our listeners on the podcast are from the United States. 86%. 8% is Canadian from Canada. Like I said, Romania is up to 1%. They were below 1% for a long time, but we did get to crack the 1% with Romania.
I love it.
And then a bunch of countries I'm going to throw in there because they fluctuate, but they generally stay below the 1%.
Yeah.
Ukraine, United Kingdom, Israel, Turkey, Spain, Mexico, Hong Kong, Germany, Australia, Guatemala, Denmark, France, Slovenia, Peru, Poland, Brazil, Malaysia, Norway, and now Honduras. So that breaks down our numbers on Spotify for listening.
Like Hong Kong and Honduras is the new one, man, from the last time you and I talked.
Yeah.
I don't remember Hong Kong being on there, but now they are. I love it.
And as I said, a lot of these countries that you know, are distant and things like that, they are under 1%. Maybe they checked us out. Maybe I don't know. But as I said, we did add countries, and I did want to say that Romania is up and Canada is up. And you know, I did want to share that with you because I feel that's important.
I like it, man. All these different countries checking us out. They're checking out. They're interested in what these Yinzers have to say.
Yeah. I seen yesterday on Twitter. Did you see
a derp
for Hoko? What's his name? The guy that we brought over from San Diego.
Yeah, like what's a Yinzer?
Yeah. So I did. I put in his comments. I threw one of our links in there. So
heck yeah, buddy. Exactly. If you want Yinzers for Hoko, you got two dumb ones right here and a derpy from Ohio.
You got the dumbest of them right here for Hoko.
He's like, what the hell did I sign up for?
Yeah.
Dude, don't go back to listen to the episode where we're talking about you because I may have mispronounced your name like 12 times.
Yeah, he's thinking LA wasn't so bad now.
Right? Got these two jackasses and this little dog character talking to me.
Well, he would know that the dog is there. It's just the May the 4th be with you sign today. So
it is. I'm sorry. I clicked over to something else real quick on my screen.
So there you have it. There was a baseball game. There was a baseball game played yesterday.
Was there ever a baseball game?
I got a lot to say about this game because there's a lot to say about this game. First, I figured out why this team is so good. I'm talking about the Tampa Bay Rays. I know why they're so good. I figured it out. It is because they are, in fact, the aliens from Space Jam, and they took over the bodies of these baseball players for Tampa. And they're just, you want to hear something crazy, man?
Yeah.
They're at a plus 118 run differential right now after 31 games. Okay. That's the best since 1902 within the first 31 games.
Whoa. 1902?
And it was the Pittsburgh Pirates who had that record for the longest time. Yes, they have a plus 118 run differential at 31 games.
That is insane.
The best since 1902, the Pittsburgh Pirates. So this team, guys, and what I want to say to the people to watch the Pirates, don't be discouraged because it's going to get better. I promise you. I say this. This is my advice. Let's get this game over this afternoon and get the hell out of Florida, because this was it was a nightmare. These guys are extremely good. And when I say check these guys for steroids, please at least consider, because Mike, we're a good team. They make us look like a little league team.
Yeah, they are. They're something else, man. They are something else. I watched some of the highlights and like, holy moly, because I hadn't had a chance to watch the game, but my God, these guys they're really, really good baseball team. And they might be my AL team to root for.
And there's like nobody, you don't recognize these names. It isn't like, they got so-and-so from here, so-and-so from it's just a bunch of good ass baseball players playing good baseball. They have some things going in their favor. I do admit, and I'm not going to sit here and make excuses for the Pirates, and we'll go over the reasons they lost. We'll be honest about it, and we'll give it to you just like that. But they do have some advantages. That field, if you go to play there, especially if you're a team that plays on grass all the time, that artificial turf, man, that's some hard shit to get used to.
Yeah.
There's plays in the outfield that a normal ground ball to the outfield could, it's moving so fast, and you're thinking, okay, I'm moving this speed, I'm going to get the ball. Next thing you know, the ball's flying by you and going all the way to the wall. There was another play where Brian Reynolds went chasing this ball that was hitting the center, left center field. It goes to bounce. He goes to plate. It went like 10 feet over his head, opposed to, head height to grab the ball and play it.
Excuse me.
There was that play. Also, the play 2 days ago where they lost the ball in the rafters.
Yep.
They have like all these, and like I said, it is what it is. I'm not making excuses. We went down there, we got our asses kicked, and rightfully so. Like we did mention yesterday, they did swap. Rich Hill will not be starting today. It will be Vince Velasquez, who is the next starter on the rotation, which I suspected them to do.
Yeah, you have to change it up at this point. You got to try something new. Get a better pitcher up there,
and
salvage a win.
And salvage a win. And you know what I said yesterday? I said, what, these guys, they're going to shake their rust. They're going to go out and play. I just don't. There was not much. Like I said, there was mistakes made. There was 2 errors. They were costly. The Mitch Keller's the runs that he gave up, most of them were unearned runs. Sorry, they were unearned runs. There was a costly error in the middle of the field by Castro. There was another costly error by Bay. It just didn't stop. It was like if something could go bad, it just kept
getting worse.
It just kept getting worse throughout the course of the game. And here's the thing: if you're a Pirates fan or somebody even just observing what's going on with this Pittsburgh team, I'm noticing that people are getting pissed at these past 2 games for other reasons, which I'm going to get into shortly.
Yeah.
But this is a good thing. The fact that you're pissed, it's because this team is good.
Yeah.
And it's frustrating because we just can't get no traction against this particular team, which that happens in baseball. There's always a team that you just can't beat. And, I'm glad these guys are in the American League. I'm glad we're never going to see them ever again.
Unless, this is the preview of the World Series.
I'm hoping somebody beats their asses before we can get so
we have a chance.
Yeah. But this team is head and shoulders above everybody else. I'm looking at the other 2 teams, the Braves and the Orioles, who are a half game ahead of us now. With the slump that we're having 3 in a row losses here, we're still only a half game behind the Braves and the Orioles. And luckily, we did decide to do this at the right time, because during these last 2 losses, Milwaukee, the Cubs, and the Cardinals, and if anybody cares, the Reds, they all lost both of their games in the last 2 days as well. So we do still hold the 1.5 game lead over Milwaukee, 4.5 games over Chicago, and 10 over the Cardinals, which is freaking awesome. And that's a win itself.
So, hey, it's all about when you win and when you lose. And right now, let's lose because, like you said, Brewers are on a 3-game losing streak. So
yeah,
we're losing at the right time. But still, the last 10 we're 6-4. Hey, we're still playing good baseball. It's just you run into the best team. It's you're going to find out a lot about your team in this, and it's not even if we come out today and lose today, how do we respond in that next series against who do we play? The Blue Jays. It's all about how you respond
absolutely
after losses like this. Like,
and you're going to forget about this because, as Derpy mentions over and over and over, this is a long season, and when we're in August, you'll think back to this, but it'll be a memory. You'll look back and say, man, you remember when we went down to Tampa and got swept and just annihilated and everybody thought it was over? I don't think that it's over. I think that we're going to be fine. I think coming home to play Toronto tomorrow is going to be the start of a new period of baseball where I think we're going to be just fine. And, we play the Braves at some point during this season. Maybe that's going to be a great series. But you know what? The way that we are methodically able just to keep getting on base, getting the guys around the bases and over home plate over the first 30 days just tells me that it wasn't a fluke. It's not just going to stop because you have a bad series. These guys are pissed. They're walking around in the clubhouse pissed. That means they know they're good.
Yeah.
When you're not good, you just can only pretend to be pissed for so long.
Yeah.
But this means you're good. You're good. You're putting in the work. You're putting in the strategy, the game plan, and this is the result. So, it's a good thing to see people pissed at this time that are following the Pirates, that are involved in the Pirates. I think that, like I said, you got to have this every once in a while. And as Derpy says, and I keep saying over and over, you're going to get, even if you win 100 games, let's say, you're still going to lose 60 something. So, this falls in that category. At some point, you got to lose games. Two things that I did touch on was the errors, the field. And again, I'm not making excuses. I'm just talking about what I observed. The umpires now, interesting. I suspected after game 1, after the balls that they called strikes over and over and over again, not by opinion, but by that little box on my television tells me so, that they was going to tighten their game up. I thought that after that first game, and they admitted that they got the block wrong, and they admitted that they weren't, I thought last night they'd come out and they'd be tight as can be. They were just as bad as the night before.
If not worse.
It got worse. And it got to the point where Derek Shelton comes out and he gets in a fight. Now, the guy that was the third base umpire, he was home plate umpire in game 1.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever, I'm not real certain what started, but Shelton comes out, gives the umpire hell, and it's the guy at third base that was at the home plate, and he gets tossed. So Shelton gets tossed. He leaves the field. You got your next coach up on deck. He's the next guy standing up, and he's the guy that's going to take over the team. So this umpire, this terrible umpire, mind you, he looks over at the dugout and he does this.
Yes.
For the coaches. Listen. For one,
that's not sketchy at all.
That's not sketchy at all. For one, these coaches did nothing.
Yeah.
For two, that's pretty unprofessional for the sport of baseball. The way, like I said, that the umpires carry themselves. So I wouldn't, and I'm not saying that they're against the Pirates and they have no reason to be, but these are things that happen during the course of the game. And, you build enough of these up, the things are going to not go your way. And that's what happened. Again, it's not the reason they lost, but these things, they sure do add up. And
these umpires, dude, this series, man, they're the most unprofessional that I've seen in a long time in sports. Like, baseball umpires, is bad enough they're arrogant to begin with. Now that there's the pitch clock, now there's talk about them being replaced by the robots.
Oh, I hope
so. They are getting more and more arrogant, and and like them and hockey officials are the most arrogant officials.
I've seen this, what you're saying right now.
Yeah, that Twitter poll. I don't know who put it up. Was it Yoey?
It was either Yoey or Filipponi.
It might have been. I have Filipponi blocked, so it had him in Yoey.
And I did. I voted Major League, and they were people voted widely that was who the more arrogant officials were, was the baseball umpires.
The whole thing with Shelton and the ump, it started because Shelton said he heard the umpire say something to him. Like, he heard him say, like, screw you or fuck you.
Yeah, this guy's
Shelton. Like, Shelton that's what the umpire is the one who escalated the situation when they're not supposed to. They're supposed to de-escalate these situations. Let the let the manager go off on you. You see, like the great old umpires back in the day, they'd sit there and they let just go off on me. Okay, I'm going to toss you. You're going to keep going and going, but guess what? You're out of here. And you keep your composure unless they personally attack you, like verbally, cross the line. For the most part, you just let them get out. All they're doing, they're blowing off steam. They're trying to show their players that, hey, I got your back. You just stand there, you just eat it. You eat it. It's not, because you're going to come up the next day and see each other. It's going to be business as usual. But now this crew right here is just terrible, man. They're taking it personally. And I can't wait for the day when umpires, all they have to do is say safe or out.
Yeah.
That's I can't wait. I can't wait for that. When we get the robot umps, when everything's told to them, if it's a ball or a strike off that screen that everyone can see, I can't wait.
I mean, this guy was real bad. He was, like I said, he was bad from the get-go and day one. And I'm not saying that he has anything against our team. I'm just saying he's a bad umpire from what I see.
Yeah, and then that's going to cloud their judgment when you get angry at someone and you're pulling these shenanigans. You're not going to get anything close. It's going to go against you. They're going to look for a reason to screw you over. It's human nature. You're pissed at someone. You're going to keep egging them on. You're going to keep you're pissed at me. Guess what? Oh no, you're out. Oh, guess what? No, they're safe.
I think it was shortly after this we challenged something, and it was I don't remember what it was, but you almost seen the joy in this umpire's face when he got to say that we were wrong on the challenge. It was wild, man. I for many reasons, I can't wait till this series is over. Today, game 3 is at 1:10. And then, as we said earlier, we're coming home for 3 to play Toronto, try to get back on track. But, like you said, Mike, maybe, just maybe we could salvage this game. Rich Hill won't be throwing. Velasquez has been hot. But they're really good, man. This team is really good,
man. It's nice to see, though, just for baseball, to this team, both teams coming out of nowhere, and the Rays being this hot, this good. I like it. I enjoy it. Not so much right now. Not so much these 3 games.
Yeah.
But overall, as a fan of sports and baseball, it's nice to see this team doing well. But fuck off right now,
Yeah.
After that last out, you'd be cool again. Right now, I hate your guts.
Right. Mitch Keller did go 5, gave up 5 hits with only 1 earned run. Like I said, all those, Mike, he had 8 strikeouts. Strikeouts.
The errors, how many men left on base again?
Yeah.
Not getting any hits when runners are in scoring position. It's like I said, man, the things are creeping up that bad habits that the past couple of years have been, the bane of this team's existence, man. Getting runners in scoring position, not being able to do anything on it. I hope it's just because we running into the best team in baseball that they're just stopping us. And then
I honestly believe that's what it is, because there was no signs of this.
And then get back to normal.
The first 30 games.
Yeah.
Again, he went 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 8 Ks. Hernandez comes in. He gives up 1 earned run, has 2 Ks. He gave up a jack. Bolton comes in, 2 earned runs, 3 Ks. So, it is what it is. We'll see what we can do today. There are some bright spots. Let me talk about the bright spots, because they're Connor Joe had a triple. Your boy.
That's Connor what I'm talking about. I am a Connor Joe fanatic. It's the hair.
Connor,
it is. It's really the hair.
Connor, he did have a triple, his 3rd of the season. Andrew McCutchen went yard. He was the only run of the game. Reynolds had a double, which was his 11th of the season, puts him in the top 5 in the majors.
Damn.
Carlos Santana made an amazing diving catch over at first. So, with all things considered, the good guy, the guys that you expect to do good are still doing good. Bay, he swiped another base or 2.
Yeah, so he had 2 hits and a walk last night.
Yeah, so they're not far off from what they're doing, but they're, like you said, they're just up against a juggernaut. This team, this Tampa Bay team, they're going to be fun to. see what they do. Once we get the hell out of Tampa and leave it behind us, it's going to be fun to watch to see what the Tampa Bay Rays do the rest of the way, because as I said, they're setting records, man. They really are. Their run differential is the best that it's been by any team to start a season, the first 30 games in the season since 1902.
That's insane.
121 years.
That's how you know you're on a pretty special run.
Yeah.
When you're doing stuff that was done at the beginning of the
right after the Civil War.
Yeah, literally after. Exactly. Jesus.
Pirates did lose this game 8-1. Tampa Bay, they do get 10 hits on 8. They get 8 runs on 10 hits. Pirates get 1 run, 7 hits, 2 errors. Drops the Pirates to 20-11, and that takes the Tampa Bay Rays up to 25-6.
Did you see the? I don't know if you have it in your notes. The play their shortstop made.
Tampa's shortstop.
Yeah, when he Reynolds hits a grounder to short, gets it on the bounce, throws the ball up in the air, catches it, and throws it over to first.
And that was beautiful. Yeah,
I loved it.
That's when you're doing good. That's when you know everything is going well.
That's how you know you're winning that game. You're feeling good, and I loved every second of it. And I see people booing it, but come on, this is what sports is about. It's about having fun, being entertaining, and my God, it's baseball, the ultimate, in America, the ultimate kids game. And you get to grow up and play it. And I don't, wherever this guy's from, Walter Franco. And, that's what you did as a kid. You did silly stuff.
Yeah, man.
And if you hate it, if you found that I hate it. Pirates fan buckos are like, oh, I wasn't impressed by it. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit. If one of your teammates did that, you would be lighting them up in the dugout after they did that. Imagine if O'Neal Cruz did that. This town, Pittsburgh, would be going bananas over. It'd be like the greatest play ever.
He'd be chanting MVP.
MVP as he did it. Yeah. So, I thought it was a fun little play. And I'm interested to see, if we throw at this guy or if we come in sliding into second and break up a double play cleats high. And that's what I want. Just be on the lookout for that from the Buccos. Don't do anything stupid.
In my opinion, just
strike the guy out.
Just get the hell out of Florida.
Get out of Florida. Go to Toronto. Go to Canada.
Don't pass go. Don't collect anything. Get the fuck out of Florida.
Yeah, and just don't let because this series right here can actually be a turning point. Looking back,
it could be.
It could be. We can revert back to what they were last year. Or they can just put this one behind them and go back to playing the way they were before this series. So for right now, I hate to say this early in the season, but this right here is a key series. How they follow this up.
How do they follow up? You're right.
Like I'm not just talking about today's game. Like if they lose today, whatever. But it's going to be that next series against Toronto. How do you act? How do you play? How do you come out? What's your demeanor? Are you playing scared, or are you playing loose the way you were in the first 27 games?
Another thing I noticed was one thing I would do if I was the coach in a series like this, I would play my best 9, no matter what. Game 1, G1 Bay didn't play.
Yeah.
Yesterday there was this right fielder that I don't even know.
Yeah, I looked at. Yeah, I don't know who this guy is. I was looking
in this kind of series. I put my best hand on the table, no matter what.
Yeah.
Yes, I wouldn't put Sawinski in because he has trouble against lefties if it's the lefty. You play that card. However, everybody else, it's all hands on deck,
Yeah, if you're healthy, my God, go out there and play. Yes, it's an American League team, but wins and losses still count. You still, and if they're the best team, you're the second best team, third best
team.
In
a high profile showcase. People are watching this series because, is this Pirate team for real? Is this team a fluke? People want to know.
You go out there.
I would assume you put you put your top 9 no matter what.
That's what I would do. And I have my best 9 out there. If the analytics say Sid Sawinski play someone else, go ahead and do that. But he needs to be in there. Bay needs to be there. Everyone. It's the Buccos, man. That's
this is
like
where
Shelton did it. Clint Hurdle did it. Playing, people that you're scratching your head looking at these lineups going into these important games. Yeah, they're not in our division. They're not even in our league. But still, this is an important game. Like you're saying, this is national. People are
watching.
All eyes are on you
for the past 30 years.
Best lineup.
What was the one thing that the Cardinals did? They had the best lineup on the field every day.
Yeah.
You know, the heat of summer. You better believe Yadier Molina was going to be behind the plate. You better believe that Carpenter was going to be the third base.
Unless you're playing like the last place team. If you're playing the last place team and you know your backups are better than their starters, yeah, you go ahead and do it, but not right now.
I mean, why have these guys on your team if you're not going to play them?
Exactly.
Brian Reynolds, since the extension of his contract, now this is prior to last night's numbers. Yeah. Okay. Brian Reynolds, since his contract extension, is batting .476. He's 10 of 21 with 5 doubles and 5 RBIs. Gotta like what Reynolds is doing. Like I said, for the most part, you gotta like what everybody's still doing. This is a bad series, and you know what? You have to just take it as that and get the hell out of Tampa Bay, get back home. People, you know, the crowd loves you here. Get home. Let's win some baseball games and get back on track. So, you know, it was a bad series, but there's still one left.
Still one left. Go out there and win this one. You know, salvage something. Show that, hey, you know, you're not going to quit.
And that loss yesterday takes Mike out of the
contention. I've always hated you.
The Pirates cannot go 6-3 now, which is what Mike chose for these 9 road games. So, Mike, you are out. It is down to me and Derpy, depending on whether they win or they lose today. If they win, Derpy wins. If they lose, I win. So we'll see how that goes. As I said, Velasquez is on the hill today. They pulled Rich Hill, made the change. And I think this is a good idea anyway for a 43-year-old pitcher. Maybe every month or so, maybe take him out of the rotation, skip him, and then the next time around. So this kind of came in, you know, the timing on this is perfect. Sit Hill, let his arm, you know, give him an extra 4 days, let Velasquez pitch and see what can happen. As I said, these guys are freakish. If you like watching a really good freakish baseball team, watch this Tampa Bay team, because that's what they are.
Stupid aliens from Space Jams.
They are.
I hate them.
To the other coast, the Oakland A's, we could be these guys. Starting pitching in Oakland, let me tell you a little bit about these guys.
Oh, God, Oakland.
To start the season, so from day one to now, from opening day till right now, the A's, which there is a bright spot I will tell you about in just a moment, but hear me out. Their starting pitching is 0-15. They have a collective ERA of 8.09. They're giving up an average of 3.06. The batters they face, 3.06. They've given up 33 home runs, and they've issued 68 walks.
Send them on to Vegas already.
This is Pittsburgh. We know these kind of numbers. We know this is not this is not distant from us.
No, it's not.
Our last April was very similar to this. We didn't get our first win for a starter until like the teens of May, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. They have a negative 123 run differential.
Can we send them to Vegas already?
It's like they play Tampa Bay all season.
That is by far the worst. Like the next Kansas City and Chicago are next at negative 62 each. So they're just about double them.
Chicago just came off a 10-game losing streak. They lost 10 in a row.
But now they're on a 3-game win streak. They got that going for them, which is nice.
It's because that stadium. No one wants to go to that stadium.
Nobody wants to go to Oakland. Oh, what are you still talking about? Chicago? Are you talking about Chicago?
No, the Oakland Stadium. That was like a cross between a football field and a baseball.
Hey, remember when there used to be a lot like a Three River Stadium used to be like that. We used to switch up the baseball and the football fields, and then the more of the grass fields were, you know, you'd always see the infield during football season. I didn't necessarily hate it, but there you go. It could be worse, everybody. It could be worse.
It could be the Oakland Athletics.
It's crazy how Oakland's just moving to Las Vegas and everything. I smelled it.
Yeah, they are. I
smelled Oakland once. We did a layover in San Francisco.
And
there was a smell, and I remember the people behind us, they were complaining, and the one goes, "Oh, that's just Oakland across the bay." I shit you not. About 10 years ago, it was hilarious.
Oh, that's great.
But there's a guy, Mike. I think his last name is Miller. He's from here. He is a look. You have that A's Pull up yesterday's A's box score because I believe he threw yesterday. And he might have actually had a little bit of success. Now he's from right here. And they said that he's the only bright spot on the team. Yeah, I guess he went out and got a handful of strikeouts or something. Miller, maybe. Is there a Miller?
Holy moly. Hold on one second. I had like ESPN open and a commercial just kept playing that I could not find where it was playing from. Blasting me in my ears. Oh my goodness.
They're 6-25.
Yeah, they're bad. Okay, who am I looking for?
Go to Oakland, go to their box score from yesterday.
Yep.
Their statistics.
Mason?
I'm sorry. Mace. Is it Mason? Is there a pitcher named Mason?
It's Mason Miller, I think.
Mason Miller. Mason Miller. He's from right here.
24.
No, he didn't pitch last year or last night.
I don't know when he pitched, but they were showing him striking people out, and they'd said it was a local news channel, of course, and they just made the comment how he seems to be the only bright spot in the Oakland A's roster at the time. So I don't know much about him. It was just something that I did see on the news.
He's from Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he's from Pittsburgh. But there you have it, everybody. 110 Pirates at the Rays. See if we could salvage this series.
Let's go Buccos.
You're going down, Ryan. They're getting a win today.
I hope you win, Derpy. I really do. It does nothing for my ego if I win this bet. First, the last 5. Check this out, fellas. The last 5 first-round offensive linemen the Pittsburgh Steelers chose were Alan Faneca, Kendall Simmons, Pouncey, David Castro, and now, of course, Jones from Georgia. When we draft first-round offensive linemen, we draft them well.
Pretty well. You know, you have one Hall of Famer in there, 2 very good players in Pouncey and Simmons, or Pouncey and DeCastro. Simmons was what he won.
He was solid. He was
solid. Yeah, he was
solid.
on. Was he on? He was on one of the Super Bowl teams, right?
I think so. It's been a while since he's been here, so I would imagine so.
Yeah, I can't remember if he was on that second team or not. But yeah, Kendall Simmons was a damn good player, and you know we're hoping Broderick Jones is gonna
follow suit because, as I said, Mike, you go first round, you get those linemen. Them guys are usually with you forever, and that's very encouraging.
Yes, very,
very encouraging. I do want to talk about DeJuan Jones briefly while we were talking about the linemen. I found out I dug and got some notes on what his issues were. Apparently,
his real motive too.
Yeah, his real motive when he was talking to the teams and coaches and this, he told the teams that his real dream is to play in the NBA, not in the NFL. Which is, what, a lot of pro athletes. The thing is about athletes, you play everything when you're a kid. Yeah. And if you love basketball, but you're good at football, you might have that opinion. I don't see that as a problem.
It's not a problem, but you don't want to tell your boss that.
Right.
Yeah. Hey, your potential boss. My real passion is this over here. Where
I'm not going to give you everything because just one day I might be.
I got to step away for a few minutes. You guys carry on the show.
Yeah, man, you're good. Yeah. Kirby, and the other thing about DeJuan Jones, he was dealing with weight issues apparently at the time, and he mishandled the Senior Bowl and Pro Day. So whatever that means, do you know anything about this, Derpy?
I'm just gonna say that, just point this out sarcastically.
Yeah.
No, he didn't have issues with weight. No.
But he did, and also he mishandled Senior Bowl and Pro Day. That is what I don't understand. That I don't know the details on. So whatever reason that Mike Tomlin dislikes DeJuan Jones, I trust him. Yeah, exactly. You're constantly trying to learn the character and the personality of these people that you want to bring to your franchise. You want the best people. You want people that you feel are going to fit in. You want people that you feel that are going to communicate and are going to do their best job for your franchise. And that just seems what it was with DeJuan Jones. And so I trust Mike Tomlin's judgment on this. I really do. Because He wasn't the only person that said this. It seemed like it was an issue. Otherwise, you know what? He's too good. He got drafted where he got drafted. They were expecting him to drop. He didn't because of all these things. But, it was the same thing with Jalen Carter. Everybody's expecting Jalen Carter to drop because of things happening off the field. But you know what? These guys are good. Some teams don't care that much about the personality. Some people don't care that much about background. They want the best player. And I understand that as well. I think we made the right move. I think we got the right guy. I'm not going to regret that at all.
I 100% think we got the right guy. When I saw his and Jones, Project Jones, when I saw his draft call, he was smiling.
Yeah.
He was smiling.
Yes.
That he got drafted by the Steelers. That's a Steeler there. I don't care what anyone says. That's a Steeler.
And you got to say this too, Derpy. I mean, all the people that you did see get drafted by the Steelers, how excited they seem. Like Nick Herbig. I mean, how excited
he was hyped.
This kid, I mean, come on. It's like, you hit the lottery. And as you said with Jones and with
Porter too.
Porter. Nobody's bummed. And here's that. Nobody's going to come out and say they're bummed they got drafted by any NFL team. But you know what? These guys, they seriously seem genuinely just excited. And it's awesome to see, as you said, it really makes them feel like a Steeler to us. And I love it. I love it. You got to love it. You got to love it. A couple other things I did see. We was talking yesterday a little bit about the XFL players bleeding over into the NFL. Of course, a lot of people are talking right now. Hakeem Butler.
Yeah.
From the St. Louis Battlehawks was invited to Steeler camp. Now
he's like their superstar, I think. I believe.
He was. I believe he was the leading receiver in the XFL, if I'm not mistaken. And I did see some highlights, and you know what? This guy's good. He's big. We could have a real arsenal this year, Derpy. I at this point, I don't know what receivers you're going to keep and what you're not going to keep, because we have about a dozen receivers, it seems like. However, this Hakeem Butler, I would take him in a minute. But again, we'll see how he goes out there and plays.
Can we maybe snag Gordon?
What's that?
Can we maybe snag Gordon?
You know what? Gordon didn't really play that well. I tell you what, in the season this year, they actually talked about, the talent that he has and what he did in the NFL. It just wasn't adding up. He wasn't playing to that potential. So I don't know what it is. Maybe if he lost a step, maybe if it was, just the overall mindset, whatever it was, he definitely didn't live up to what they were expecting. I mean, Josh Gordon was probably the biggest name going into the XFL season, in my opinion. And he really didn't do much. I mean, he caught a touchdown here. He did this, but I think they expected a lot more from Josh Gordon, and that didn't happen. So I don't know how much you want to dig into him. But there are other guys, though. Ben DiNucci, who we talked candidly about coming to Pittsburgh camp and possibly playing for the third string spot in Pittsburgh. He did get invited to Denver. So Ben DiNucci will be trying out with the Denver Broncos once camp starts.
That's a good place to go.
For
the history of, Elway, finding quarterbacks.
Right.
That's a decent spot for him, an opportunity.
Absolutely. Mike, we were talking about the players bleeding over into the NFL from the XFL.
Yeah.
And of course, Hakeem Butler from the St. Louis Battlehawks got invited to Steeler camp. Mm-hmm. He was the leading receiver in the XFL this year. Pull up some highlights. This guy's big. He has nice size. He runs nice patterns. And you know what? He's really making things interesting in our wide receiver room, because, at some point we're going to have to start letting some of these guys go.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what this guy actually has. He's literally bounced around from practice squad to injury reserve, practice squad, injury reserve between the NFL and the CFL. Mm-hmm. And then finally, he put up some numbers this year in the XFL. So it's just someone finally getting a chance to play and showing his true potential, or someone that took a while to have that potential come out to be actually realized. So I'm interested to see how he's going to play. I know the Eagles, they had him way back when, and they tried to make him a tight end.
Yeah.
And that didn't work. So, but I was watching him play, man, watching those highlights, he looked pretty good. But you have to, it's against the XFL, but well, let's get him in here. Maybe it finally clicked for him. And that there is a spot open on the roster. I believe if they go 6 receivers, there's a spot.
Oh, yeah. I think if they go Gunner, 6, absolutely.
I don't see Gunner making this team again. And I
don't
think he can be on this team. What's he gonna? Is he gonna bring?
I can't on one hand think of five things that he did that I would keep him from last season. I don't. He didn't do enough for me to even keep him on the team.
Yeah, I just want to see what this guy can do. You're really not losing any money by bringing these guys in. They're like they're tryout contracts for the most part. He's coming in with the rookies. So I no harm, no foul. If he makes it, I don't know if he got an invite or not, because I know he said AJ McCarron.
He didn't get an invite yet, as we were saying when you were gone, Mike. Ben DiNucci did get an invite to the Denver Broncos camp, so DiNucci is heading out there. I think that some of these guys, they do have potential to crack the NFL, and that's why they are in the XFL. As far as Hakeem Butler, there was a very impressive team and what they did with that team and the pieces that they had in place, and they were successful. And Hakeem Butler was successful. So again, we'll take a look at him. We'll take a look, see and compare him to what we have. And I know that you love Miles Boykin. I know that you love his special teams play. His spot would be one of the ones that I would think is the least secure out of all of them, along with Gunner. Of course, I don't think Gunner will make this team. Everybody else, I think you have a shoe in. There's no chance you're losing DJ Pickens, any of the other guys. I don't have to go through them all, but
I'm looking like right now, real quick. Deontay, George Pickens, Allen Robinson on the team. Then after that, you have Miles Boykin, who I think he'll stay. Then you have Calvin Austin, Gunner, Anthony Miller, Cody White, and then a bunch of people like that
Anthony
Jordan
Miller,
Bird,
Cody White,
Jamarcus
like
Bradley, Des Fitzpatrick, a bunch of practice squad guys. A bunch of training camp guys. So I think there's one, maybe two spots available for a spot on the team. If they go 5 wide, I think it's said if they go 6 receivers on the roster, I think there's one spot available.
And if he's good enough, he's going to beat out them other guys. Those guys aren't going to be here. You know that. I know that. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to see what we do bring in. And we do look like we're having a lot of weapons. Put those 5, 6 wide receivers, add them to our 3 tight ends, who I think they're pretty damn good. Against also with our 2 main running backs. You know what? This is going to be a lot of fun, guys. They built an offensive line for us. They built more onto that defense that was good. Special teams wise, we do have guys coming in. I don't know who this gentleman is, Mike. Maybe you could help me in Derby, because he is a Big Ten guy. Apparently, the guy from Rutgers. This is one of the top punters out of college. The Steelers did invite him as well, so he will be involved in the Steelers camp. Rutgers punter from last season, apparently.
Oh my God!
I mean, we'll see how it goes, because
I don't know.
I think that
what's
Harvin
his name? Harvin is.
I think Harvin is the one that's in danger of losing his job.
Yeah,
I think so too.
I think that Chris Boswell, you're bringing the other guy in to maybe kind of give Boswell that competition.
Adam Korzak, was that the punter?
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. He what did he did some really good stuff at the combine. I remember him now. It took me a while. You say Rutgers, I get a blank because that team sucks.
They were the Big East forever. And you know what? It was the same thing in the Big East. They were just the worst. Everybody beat on them,
Yeah, he's just one of it's Rutgers. You don't think about them.
They're so dumb. You want to call their team Rutgers instead of, you know what I mean? People are confused of what that is.
Yeah, he won the Ray Guy award, as best punter in college football. So, I'm looking at his stuff. Seems to be a pretty good punter, but you don't know until he gets in the NFL. It's just weird, man. You see all these good kickers and punters in college, and like it's the guys you never hear of that become the good kickers and punters in the NFL.
I gotta say, I wouldn't be surprised if
never had a punt block, and I had a streak 150 consecutive punts without a touchback. So
that's pretty
that's good right there.
Nice. I have no problem with believing that Harvin will not be back. I wasn't thrilled with him from the get-go. People talked me into believing he was a little bit better than what he was last year. I think he really came out and showed what his. He could probably go somewhere. He'll go somewhere and play. He could be a Texans punter or something like that. But I just think what we're doing, he's got to go. We got to bring in somebody a little bit more consistent, a lot more consistent.
Yeah. Yeah. This cat, he was invited to Kansas City's rookie camp and the Steelers rookie camp. So he's not signed a contract to either team, it sounds like. So he'll just go from one rookie camp to the other. And,
yeah.
But hey, maybe, you never know. He might go to the Kansas City one first and get a contract there before he gets here. I don't know how this stuff works where if you're just being invited. I don't know how that works. I'm going to be completely honest. But
anybody see this?
What?
This by the CBS Ryan Wilson, the 2023 NFL draft class rankings. And I know that we went over the draft class rankings, but did anybody see this? This was the latest one. It came out yesterday. It has the Steelers having the best draft.
Ooh.
You want to hear a couple of these?
Yeah, anything that makes me feel good about the Steelers.
There's a couple of things that I think that people would dispute.
Okay.
But let's check it out. This is from NFL on CBS. And again, the person is Ryan Wilson. Number one, had the best draft that he says the Steelers did. The second team, the Colts.
Ooh.
Number three, the Giants. Number four, the 49ers. Number five, the Packers. Number six, the Broncos. Number seven, the Browns. You're wondering where the Eagles are, aren't you? Me too.
Yes.
Number eight, the Raiders.
The Raiders.
Number nine, the Eagles. I thought they had a better draft than that. Number 10, the Rams. 11, Jacksonville. 12, Miami. 13, the Chargers. 14, the Bears. 15, the Falcons. 16, the Titans. 17, Tampa Bay. 18, Buffalo. 19, Baltimore. 20, Cincinnati. 21, which I don't agree with, Detroit. I think they had a better draft than that.
Oh, yeah.
22, the Cardinals, who I don't agree with. I think they had a better draft than that. 23, the football team out of Washington. 24, the Jets, which I don't agree with, who they just signed Randall Cobb yesterday, I see.
Yeah. I don't have a wish list, but everyone on it has been signed.
I know. Come on, LeBron. I mean, Aaron Rodgers. Number 25.
The New York Packers.
Exactly. The Chiefs, 25. 26, the Saints. 27, the Panthers. 28, the Vikings. 29, Seattle. 30, New England. 31, Texas. Houston, I'm sorry.
What?
32, Dallas. So again,
wow,
a different perspective on the draft and on who drafted the best. I don't know.
How are the Texans all the way down there?
You get arguably the second best or first, depending on like one of the top four quarterbacks.
God's better than him. I don't care.
You know what? I'm not impressed with these quarterbacks, but go ahead.
You get CJ Stroud, Will Anderson.
Mm-hmm.
You know, one of the top quarterbacks, the best outside linebacker, the top two or three defensive players in the draft. Nathaniel Dell in the third round, wide receivers, no joke. Drew Scruggs, pretty good center coming out of Penn State. It makes no sense to me. The Carolina draft, Bryce Young, arguably the best quarterback on the board. Jonathan Mingo. Can I finish my argument? Oh, I'm going to mute you. Oh,
you guys haven't battled in a couple of days. I think we're due. That's one of my favorite parts. Like,
the Giants one or the Jets one, I can kind of understand. Like Will McDonald, he was seen as a reach at that pick, but I like the other ones. I like Joe Tippmann. I like Izzy Abanikanda. I don't. The Lions draft class, if you rearrange some of these picks, put Brian Branch in the first round, Jack Campbell, swap those two, that's a pretty good draft.
I'd take both of those guys.
Yeah, Sam Laporta, though, at being one of the first tight ends off the board makes that one right there. I shook my head at. Oh God, like I'm looking at the Cardinals draft.
The guy that we got.
Yeah, I'm looking at exactly the Cardinals draft. Paris Johnson Jr., BJ. BJ Ujulari, a pretty good outside linebacker. Garrett Williams, a good corner. Once again, nice draft class. The Eagles. Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith in the first round.
Yeah, come on. How the
The
Eagles
Philadelphia Bulldogs.
Yeah.
You get Sidney Brown, who was a damn good safety at Illinois in the third. Keely Ringo, who 2 years ago everyone said was going to be a top 10 pick. You get him in the fourth round. Moro Ojimo, an undervalued D end out of Texas, who I was hoping the Steelers would take, but I'm looking at the way our draft class fell. I like it. We could have, yeah, they took him the 32nd pick in the 7th round. Who I now that I saw him on there, I kind of hate our 7th round pick now, our last one. The Browns draft class, okay, Cedric Tillman, all right, but Siaki Ika, I like that pick. DeJuan Jones, if he gets his head on straight, those are good picks, but as high as they had them, no.
The Ohio State center, I like that pick.
I like that one better. Then I'm looking at the Colts. Anthony Richards, measurables off the chart. Only played 13 games in college, but if he projects the way you think he's going to project, just by how he improved from the end of the year through the combine and the whole process, could turn out to be a damn good quarterback. Julius Bretz, quarterback out of Kansas State. Steelers were linked to him early in the 2nd round. Josh Downs, and yeah, he's a small receiver, but might be the best slot receiver in the draft. Blake Freeland, a pretty good tackle out of BYU. He's in that 2nd tier down out of the other corners in the draft. I thought the Colts had an amazing draft.
Yeah.
Well, this guy was all over the place in his grades. I do like him how he has Pittsburgh 1, but I'm sorry, the best drafts were both Pennsylvania teams, Philly and Pittsburgh. Flip a coin to see. Flip a coin. I personally, I'm leaning towards. I think the Eagles had a better draft class than us, but I like our draft class too. But how can the Eagles that far down, the Texans that far down makes no sense.
No, you're right.
Just based on the way these guys played in college, the way you saw them perform the combine, and the way you would project them out, it makes. It's mind-boggling.
But it was a different perspective. Again, this is from a gentleman from the CBS. This
guy might be right. He might be right.
I don't think so. I mean, I think that there's you nailed on a lot of points right there, and I think a few of the points that were very obvious. So whatever he was doing, whatever his deal was, making this, it is what it is. Some of it's right, some of it's wrong.
Hey, we won't know for 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter has reached an agreement.
I mean, Jalen Carter
already.
Right
you figure the money's already there. They know what they're going to be paid. It's just how it's going to be structured. But I'm surprised he's one of the first ones to get the agreement, right?
Yeah, he just got it, and Schefter just dropped it.
Shefty Chef, man, he's on top of things.
Yeah, he is. Jared Wayne, who got offered from the Houston Texas after the draft as an undrafted. He yesterday got drafted by the Toronto Argonauts in the Canadian Football League. So, of course, Jared Wayne, the former Pitt wide receiver, I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what that means when you get drafted by these guys and these guys sign. I don't know. So whatever it is, Jared Wayne, we'll be seeing him play football somewhere. Wishing him nothing but the best. I don't know if I mentioned this yesterday. Kalijah Cansey, he did choose number 94. So if you're watching any Buccaneers games this year and Cansey's your guy, which he's a lot of people's, 94 is the number he's going to be donning. And also one interesting statistic, I think I had it on the page yesterday. Pitt's 14 draft picks over the past 3 drafts is most in the ACC. Nobody from the ACC has had more people drafted than Pitt over the past 3 years. So.
That's insane. I saw that. I saw you posted that, and I was like, "Oh my lord, that's nuts."
They're moving. Things are happening. You know what I mean?
They're moving in the right direction.
Right.
It took a while for Narduzzi to, I guess, actually get the players that he wanted. Because my God, when he first came here, this guy was like a joke. This guy, he's always running his mouth. Like, dude, you haven't done anything.
I can't think of the guy was right before him. I really couldn't take that guy. Narduzzi, I never had a problem with. He was the one right before him.
I can't remember. I still don't like the way they treated Wannstedt on the way out.
I like Wannstedt. Yeah.
I thought Wannstedt got a bad deal.
On the USFL, guys, the Pittsburgh Maulers, they host the Birmingham Stallions. The Stallions come in with a 2-1 record. Maulers with a 1-2. This game is at 6:30. It's the late game on Sunday. It's the the big game of the week. This game is I think it's on FS1, but that is in the USFL. Then also we did mention Reuben Foster won player of the week, whatever it was, for defensive players. And then yesterday we did mention that there was a person tackle leader. Today I'm going to tell you about Olive Sagapolu. He is a defensive lineman for the Pittsburgh Maulers. He leads the USFL in sacks with 4.
No way.
So just another defensive Pittsburgh Mauler that's making their name. We have a leading tackler. We have the sack leader. We have the defensive player of the week.
If they only had an offense.
Now that you got Chris Blewett, you got somebody that kick field goals consistently. It's that offense. The offense.
That's all we have.
But you know what? It's showing, because here in 3 games, we already have 1 win. We only got 1 win all last year. So, I mean, that's somewhat encouraging. And there's also a team below us that has no win. So,
hey, real quick, as Derpy said, as P. Morton saying, as long as Dallas underperforms, all is right in the world. I could not agree more. F the Cry Boys or the Cry Girls or whatever Myron Cope used to call them. And yeah, the Chargers are going to waste Justin Herbert's career. My God. One of the best young quarterbacks in football. And their coach, man, there. Their coach is doing stupid stuff. There's
so many times that with the numbers that Phillip Rivers put up, or
I always loved it when he lost. I loved it.
You know what? I mean, I've obviously personally I wasn't a big fan of his, but you can't deny that the numbers are just from being not on a good team, constantly be able to put up these great numbers. I just don't know if it's the organization. They don't put enough together to try to compete. I don't know. I don't know what it is, because they usually do have a guy that could sling the ball around. Wasn't it Drew Brees briefly before?
Brees before they traded him to the Saints.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Like when Phillip Rivers was coming out of the draft, he's the quarterback I wanted us to take, because I wasn't a big fan of Eli.
At the time,
At the time, because like Ben, you're like this guy was. We're taking a quarterback from the back. From the back.
Right. I remember people were pissed off. You didn't want Eli.
Yeah, you don't want Eli. You wanted this Rivers guy. Yeah, he threw weird, but he was gonna. I'm glad we got Ben, and Rivers went out there for his. I hate him because when they would be winning a game, he's up in people's faces talking shit. Yeah. The minute they started losing, my boy would cry. Yeah. I didn't like it. So I'm glad the Steelers didn't follow my advice.
Also,
I called
Saturday,
them up.
Saturday,
no.
I have the Pittsburgh Passion yesterday. They do play Saturday. This game is Saturday, May 6th. They host the Tampa Bay Inferno. I'm trying to shake this Tampa Bay thing off as much as I can. Tampa Bay just leave us alone. But Tampa Bay Inferno will be traveling to Pittsburgh to play the Pittsburgh Passion Saturday at 6:00. That's at West Allegheny. So if anybody wants to go check that out, go check out the Passion. They look like they got a really good team this year.
Tampa Bay Inferno sounds like one of those names you would have in Madden when you're relocating a franchise.
Yeah,
the Tampa Bay Inferno. Like, yes, that's where I'm moving my team.
Mike, why don't you get tell everybody about the website?
Yinzers.com, the number 2 DUMYINZERS.com. Head on over there. We have links to YouTube, Spotify, Anchor, everywhere you can watch and listen to us. Catch us live. Let's see. We have links to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all over there. And that merchandise store where you can buy your Bob Nothing gear, which you might need if the Buccos keep losing, baby. That's the only, I kind of want the Buccos to lose because they get those merch sales up for Bob Nothing.
Yeah. There you go, everybody. www.2dumyinzers.com. Go check it out. As Mike said, lots of cool things over there. Go check it out. We are on all week long from Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 12 p.m. And the show that we do every day gets uploaded live, or gets uploaded at 8 o'clock. I'm sorry, over on Spotify. If you only have an opportunity to just listen to it instead of watching us on YouTube, you can just listen to it on Spotify. Real quick before we get into trivia, guys, did you see that there is a Dodgeball 2 being made? Vince Vaughn is in it, and Vince Vaughn is they're saying maybe he might be able to pull some of the other people that were in the first one.
I hope so.
Back to this one. So Dodgeball 2, everybody. I think that's gonna be fun.
I love it. You can dodge a wrench, you can dodge a ball.
And that's exactly.
Yes, indeed.
2-minute warning. We're going to do some trivia right now. We got the last day. This is the last day I'm ever going to mention Tampa for the rest of my life. But this is one more Tampa Bay Rays trivia for our trivia of the day, because today is the last day we play the Tampa Bay Rays. So you guys ready?
I am ready.
You feeling confident? You feeling confident, Derpy? You're an American League guy. You might know these things.
Just as confident as the Rays pitching during the playoffs.
All right.
Wow. Shots fired.
I like it. All right. So here goes the trivia question of the day. Play along at home on the board. Anybody? Here we go. What was the original name of the Tropicana Field? Now, of course, the Tropicana Field is where the Tampa Bay Rays play their home games. The question is, what is the original name of Tropicana Field? Take a minute to think it over.
What's the question again, Ryan? Sorry.
He only said it 3 times.
What?
What the?
Derpy. What was the original name of Tropicana Field? I think I had to say it louder so the AI could hear my voice maybe when he's looking.
I think so. He's typing it in the. It's like when people used to. It was on Mark Madden used to have, like, when Mark Madden's Money, you have a quiz show and people would ask to repeat the question. And you can hear people in the background talking.
All right, so here we go.
Exactly. Anyone who hires Norv Turner deserves to lose.
Ain't that the truth? Question of the day. Here we go. What was the original name of Tropicana Field? I'm going to start with Mike today. Mike, what do you think was the original name of Tropicana Field? And I can tell you this, I didn't know, and I wouldn't be able to even guess this. So good luck.
There's some weird corporate sponsor.
Well, no
stadium.
No.
I'm gonna say the the Devils. Oh God. The Tampa Bay Rays. I had something clever on the tip of my tongue and I lost it. So I'm gonna go with the fish tank.
The fish tank. That's a good pick. That's as good a pick as that I could have came up that I would have had. So do you want to lock in on the fish tank, Mike?
I'm locking in on the fish tank.
All right. Good enough. Derpy, what was the original name of Tropicana Field? Did you and the AI figure this out?
Dang it, Mike, you took my answer.
You wanted the fish
I'm gonna
tank?
go with something
something fishy.
Yeah, something fishy, but I'm gonna go.
Did you see they have a big tank with stingrays swimming around in it down at that stadium?
Well, I don't know. Do they?
Well, the one that they have now. Like,
this is messed up. I'm gonna go Steve Irwin Stadium.
Steve Irwin Stadium.
Derpy. Derpy.
What?
Derpy.
So there you have it. Derpy says Steve Irwin Stadium. I'm going to lock you in on that, Derpy. As fucked up as it is, I'll lock you in on that. No, they do. They have a big aquarium that has stingrays just swimming around. And Rob Gronkowski before the game, they did one of the, for the Pirates. He's over there touching it and sticking his hands in, but really cool. It's a cool thing. All right. What was the original name of Tropicana Field? The answer, Mike says the fish tank. Derpy says Steve Irwin Field. Both good answers. Both as good as mine. My guess it was. The correct answer, fellas, is the Florida Suncoast Dome. The Florida Suncoast Dome.
What were you about to say? Because
it sounded like I was going to say something very bad, but
I'll see you next Tuesday there, my friend.
In all reality, I was dyslexic, and I was going to say the Florida Coast Sun, and it all came together, and it sounded like I was going to say
whoa.
But the answer, guys, the correct answer, there you go. Yeah, Ryan Garazunas at www.2yinzers.com.
Yes, P. Steve Irwin did mess around and find out.
He did. The Florida Suncoast Dome was the original name of Tropicana Field. So there you have it, everybody. But hey, here we are, another half hour or so. We're getting ready to throw out the first pitch in Game 3 of the Pirates at the Rays. Hopefully this game's a little bit better than the last two were. Get back on track. And if not, you know what? As I said ample times throughout the show, let's get the hell out of Tampa Bay. Let's finish this and get going. So
this is a very good save.
Derpy, do you have anything Derpy, do you have anything to say before we go?
May the force be with you.
May the 4th be with you. I like you, Mike. What about that? You got anything to say?
Yeah. Oh, I got a lot to say since May the 4th. Everything on Disney Plus right now is not canon. That stuff does not happen. Canon is the movies.
1 through 6 is canon. That's it.
No, 1 through 9 is canon. The Mandalorian is trash. Baby Yoda is trash. Mando is trash.
I just had a nerd overload.
Boba Fett died in the Sarlacc pit
for Derpy. Mike, Ryan, 2 dumb Yinzers. Have a great